Hey everyone, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from. It's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks for joining on the Pursuit of Wealth. Once again, we're going to get started here in just a moment. A little bit of short notice, still getting things prepped, but we'll give it another minute or so for people to join us as well. All right, I see we have quite a few people joining the live stream. Welcome. We're going to get started here in about half a minute. If you could smash the like, share the video with your network. Anybody can jump on last minute, and we're going to get started here momentarily. All right, welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, everybody. It's Rod with Power Group. It is Wednesday, November 8th, and this is my fourth video, I think, for today, for the day today. It's been a busy day. In this video, we're going to be discussing the Florida Supreme Court hearing. There was arguments put forth today, so we're going to do an update on that. And if anybody already listened to it, let me know. It was pretty lengthy. It was just under 3 hours. Full disclosure, I didn't go through the entire thing yet. I made it about 2 hours through, I think it was. But there wasn't really that much to update with regards to the video. It was just a lot of verbiage on what was potentially going to be put in. They just didn't want to put anything in there that could be taken the wrong way. So it was a lot of legal jargon. It was just a lot of mumbo jumbo and nothing really too important. I don't think it needed to be 3 hours, but anyways, I digress. But before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or whenever I go live. Also try to do my best to keep everybody update on the news, on the charts, and it's been an exciting couple of months in MJ as we look for this multi-year bear market to conclude and potentially start a new multi-year bull market. And this has been a busy week. We have earnings season. We had an announcement yesterday that Organogram was receiving a couple days ago, that they were receiving 124.6 million Canadian investment from British American Tobacco. And we have, like I said, earnings season. I did a video yesterday. Ogen was closing its doors, and a Canadian producer here in Alberta. And then today I did a video on Ohio voters approved legalization, adult use and recreational use to become the fourth state to do so. And then I did a video on Canopy Growth Q2 2024 earnings preview and estimates, which are scheduled for tomorrow after market close. We also had some earnings come in today. Ascend Wellness, there was Verano, GTII, Cron. We have tomorrow morning, we have Trulieve. Then we have aftermarket close, we have Canopy and Aurora. Monday we have Oxley and SNDL. I shouldn't even started naming people because it's earnings season, so you're definitely going to leave somebody out. But so far so good. GTI had a great quarter just from first glance, and Cron didn't seem to be too bad either. Still sitting on a ton of cash, but we have the great news last night that came in with regards to Ohio, and then today the Florida hearing at the Supreme Court to decide whether or not MJ legalization is going to be on the ballot for 2024. So this is extremely bullish, in my opinion. We could see rescheduling as well, and there's even a bipartisan bill floating through Congress right now that has bipartisan support, that they're looking to legalize and potentially deschedule and remove it from the Controlled Substances Act. So that could be huge, but ultimately I think Schedule 3 is the most likely scenario, and then they'll work to treat it like alcohol, right? But again, if you did join that hearing today, let me know. Also, make sure to give us a follow over on X, which is previously Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So this was the article directly from MJ Moment. So you can watch live. Florida Supreme Court hears arguments in case to decide if MJ legalization will appear on the 2024 ballot. And here it is here. So again, I didn't go through the whole thing. I had a busy day today. And to be honest, it was pretty boring. There's some pretty good updates here from MJ Moment. But yeah, the hearing was pretty dull. It was just, like I said, a lot of legal jargon and verbiage on what they're going to be, using. They just wanted to make it as clear as possible and didn't want to, make it interpreted so that people could interpret it the wrong way. So it just has to come down with wording and whatnot at the end of the day. But we'll go through a quick update here and give everybody the news. So Florida Supreme Court is holding oral arguments today to decide about legalization on the 2024 ballot. And then over the last several months, the court has reviewed briefs from both the state attorney general, who filed a legal challenge against the measure and is asking it for it to be invalidated, and the Smart and Safe Florida campaign, which is behind the proposed reform. So, and I think they're one of the ones that want to treat it as alcohol, same as alcohol. Attorney General Ashley Moody's main argument is that the ballot initiative is affirmatively misleading, in part because she says voters would not be able to understand from the summary that MJ would remain federally illegal even if Florida moved to legalize it. And they mentioned Ohio in the hearing as well. They talked about how it was the 24th state, so that definitely bodes well for this movement as well, because that's going to be a multi-billion-dollar market, and Florida should be as well. Florida's going to be absolutely massive, in my opinion. But definitely bodes well for this measure, and we could potentially start to see game theory just continue to play out, right? The more states that legalize at the adult use recreational level, it's just going to make it that much easier and build that much more momentum for the next state to do so. The campaign and supporters have maintained that the court must respect the intent of the citizen initiative process and allow voters the opportunity to decide on the issue after they turned in nearly 1 million signatures for ballot placement that have been certified by the state. They defined the clarity of the measure, saying it conforms to court opinions on prior MJ ballot measures. And then, they had some issues with the word allows. They said they could choose better wording and whatnot. But like I said, it was a pretty dry 3 hours. The court said last month that the attorneys for both parties will be allotted a maximum 20 minutes each for their oral arguments with no continuances. And a lot of speakers I noticed went over their time allotment, unless they can establish extreme hardship. Moody, the state attorney general, made the same argument about misleading ballot language against the 2022 legalization measure, and the Supreme Court subsequently invalidated it. In order to get on the ballot, an initiative must have valid signatures from registered voters totaling at least 8% of the district-wide vote in most recent presidential election in at least 14 of the state's 28 congressional districts, in addition to the statewide number needed. The MJ campaign has met the threshold in exactly 14 districts, according to recently updated state data. And let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think that we're going to see this approved? Because I think it's going to definitely... I don't even have a doubt that it's going to get approved, to be honest. And then into 2024, it'll be on the ballot. And then I think in 2025 is when we should start to see it take effect, right? We should start to see it legal at the adult use level. The MJ company Trulieve has contributed more than $39 million to the Smart and Safe Florida campaign to date, and Moody has accused the company of supporting the measure in order to have a monopolistic stranglehold on the state's MJ market, which we know that is more than likely the case. I can't see, why else would they be doing it? Of course they want to have a stranglehold. It's like, any company doing business wants to have market dominance. So, at the end of the day, they could be focusing on other states as well, but might not be a bad strategy. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's the land of the free, right? It's a free market. It's capitalism, and if somebody wants to focus on Florida, like I said, Florida's going to be it's going to be a massively important state, right? So there's tons of opportunity there, and there's there's room for, like, Air Wellness is there as well, right? There's tons of other private producers as well, so there's going to be enough for multiple to succeed, right? All boats rise together, so to speak. If approved, the measure would change the state constitution to allow existing medical MJ companies in a state like Truly to begin selling MJ to adults over 21. It contains a provision that would allow but not require lawmakers to take steps toward the approval of additional businesses. Home cultivation by consumers would not be allowed under the proposal as drafted. So we'll see if that changes at all. Adults, and that would even be even more bullish for these MSOs, right? These multi-state operators. Adults 21 and older would be able to purchase and possess up to 1 ounce of MJ, only 5 grams of which could be MJ concentrate products. The 3-page measure also omits equity provisions favored by advocates such as expungements or other relief for people with prior MJ convictions. So Ron DeSantis estimated that the MJ legalization initiative would generate between 195.6 million and 431.3 million. It's quite the discrepancy there. It's a pretty big gap in new sales tax revenue annually if voters enact it, and those figures could increase considerably if lawmakers opted to impose an additional excise tax on MJ transactions that's similar to the ones in place in other legalized states, which would more than likely ensue, right? What was Ohio, I think it was 10 and then like 5, so it was like 16% tax total. Something that we could expect, something similar potentially for Florida. A poll published in March found that 70% of Florida voters support legalizing MJ. So give the people what they want. I mean, it's ludicrous, right? 70%, I would say even higher in some areas and some regions. I mean, come on, it's time to get things done, right? You work for the people, not the other way around. Florida voters approved a medical MJ constitutional amendment in 2016. Here's what the Smart and Safe Florida MJ legalization initiative would accomplish. Adults 21 and older could purchase and possess up to 3 ounces of MJ for personal use. The cap of MJ concentrates would be 5 grams. Medical MJ dispensaries could acquire, cultivate, possess, manufacture, sell, and distribute MJ products and MJ accessories to adults for personal use. The legislature would be authorized but not required to approve additional entities that are not currently licensed MJ dispensaries. The initiative specifies that nothing in the proposal prevents the legislature from enacting laws that are consistent with this amendment. The amendment further clarifies that nothing about the proposal changes federal law. Well, yeah, obviously, which seems to be an effort to avoid past legal challenges about misleading ballot language. So yes, I guess they just want to make sure that the voters are all informed, right? I guess it kind of makes sense to a certain degree, but I mean, anybody who thinks otherwise, it's like, what? Of course, it's not legal at the federal level. I'm pretty, I guess, not everybody who follows the MJ industry, though, not every, Joe Blow, Joe and Jane would really know, because obviously if you're following MJ, you know that it's federally illegal. But if somebody who didn't really follow the MJ industry, I guess if they got a ballot, they'd be like, oh, what? It'd be kind of hard for them to distinguish and differentiate, I guess, to a certain degree. But I think it's fairly common sense, right? But there are no provisions for home cultivation, expungement, or prior records or social equity, which is interesting. The measure would take effect 6 months following approval by voters. There you go. So it could even be in 2024, or just slightly into 2025. So we'll see. I think there's a very high chance of this passing. To be honest, I think it's definitely in the upper percentile. A lot greater than 50%. I would say at least 60-70% that they get this done. Here's the full text of the ballot title and summary. So again, I'm not going to. Most people probably have already seen this, but I just wanted to go over some key points here and things that I found interesting and wanted to touch on. But should the initiative make the 2024 ballot, at least 60% of Florida voters would have to approve the measure for it to be enacted. And like I said, 70% of people want it legalized. Should be a shoo-in, right? Should be super easy to do. Meanwhile, a separate campaign is actively collecting signatures for a different initiative to give adults a medical MJ home cultivation option, which I think is neat. It should be, look at other, Canada. Here in Canada, we're able to cultivate up to 4 plants as well. So yeah, it makes sense. I mean, if you can only do a certain number of plants, right? If it's 4 plants or 6 plants, who cares? Like, knock yourself out. It's land of the free again. I don't see why. It's medicine. It's a plant. I mean, anybody can grow it. Why not allow people to grow it at home, especially if, for medical patients? An earlier poll released in 2021, and they talk about monopolies and stuff. It's like, okay, you're accusing Trulieve of monopolizing. Well, how come you're not allowing home grow, right? It's like, well, are you monopolizing it? Is the government monopolizing it at that point, right? I mean, maybe they'll amend it, but I think home cultivation makes sense. I mean, yeah, I can't see why they wouldn't want it. But anyway, I digress. An earlier poll released in 2021 found that the majority of Florida voters, 59%, support legalizing MJ for adult use. There you go. That was in 2021. A lot has changed since 2021. So that's a slim margin that shows that advocates will have their work cut out for them if the measure qualifies. Well, again, it's kind of like a FUD piece there. Like in 2021, slim margin. I would say it's actually a pretty big margin. A lot has happened in 2 years. However, the legalization campaign shouldn't expect to receive support from DeSantis, a Republican 2024 presidential candidate, who said at a recent event that he would not move to federally decriminalize MJ if elected. Well, he should not be elected. Again, I'm the least political person in the world, and I'm from Canada, so literally I could care less from which side of the aisle. Do I like DeSantis? Do I not like him? I don't have any preference. But the fact that he said he would not decriminalize MJ or support MJ reform, then no, I don't want you in the office, even though I'm Canadian. Again, it's not to get political. I could care less what anybody's views are on either side of the aisle or any candidate that's running. All I ask is that, if you are a true supporter of this medicine of the future in this amazing industry, to vote people out or not vote people in who are against this industry. And what was this? Earl Baumenauer, or I forget his name. I think that was his name. He's going to be retiring, and he's a huge MJ advocate, and Blumenauer or something like that. And now we just need, he's pro MJ. Now we just need to get Mitch McConnell out of there, or he needs to retire or do something. Vote him out. But like I said, all we want is what's best for this MJ industry. DeSantis signed a bill that took effect over the summer that added restrictions to medical MJ advertising and manufacturing, prohibiting any products or messages that promote recreational MJ use, while adding more stringent eligibility requirements for workers in the industry. He also signed legislation in July banning sales of any consumable hemp products, including chewing gum, to people under 21, an expansion of an existing prohibition on young people being able to purchase smokable hemp. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So what does everybody think of this? I'll finish this video as well. I'll go through it. Like I said, I had a busy day. It's my 4th video today, and still getting situated into the new condo. And like I said, I had that fall. I fell on a patch of ice, and it was pretty rough for a couple of days, and then it felt better, and then I got COVID. And then still got a bunch of moving to do, and a couple of tenants that were moving into some long-term rentals. So it's been a couple of weeks for sure. So hopefully over the next week or so, I'll be back full health, 100%. And not that I haven't really been back into the swing of things, but definitely going to be paying a lot more attention to the space. And a lot of people are asking me about earnings and things like that. It's earnings season, so it's almost impossible to track them all. But maybe I'll do a video encompassing all of it. I usually do the main ones for the community. A lot of people are asking about Tilray. A lot of people ask about Cannabis. So I usually do what my audience wants the most, because I wouldn't be here without you. And then I kind of trickle down from there, and then I go to the next most popular ones. But maybe I'll do a video similar to what I did over the weekend. The big week ahead video, where I just go ahead and kind of go through all of their earnings briefly and touch on them and give my thoughts and opinions. On the ballot, is nice. Yeah, hopefully it makes it there. Well, they need 60 to pass, so it's harder than Ohio. Yeah, and Ohio passed, and it's a Republican state, right? So that goes to show you. Everybody always said that, everybody always said that it was the Republicans holding things up, and we're starting to see if it can happen in Ohio, it can happen just about anywhere, right? And support for MJ legalization is at all-time high. Vivek Ramaswamy says he voted against legalizing MJ in Ohio. But where is it here? Let's see if I can bring it up. Give me 2 seconds. Let's see here. It's crazy how much news happens in the run of it. You don't think that much news happens, but it does. There we go. So yeah, support for MJ legalization reaches record high of 70%, including strong majority of Republicans, Gallup poll shows. So we're going into an election year, and I've said for a while now that I think that crypto is going to, a lot of the same demographic, right? A lot of the same people that trade crypto trade MJ, and I think they're going to run them inversely. So I think we're going to see a massive end of year, potentially into first couple of quarters of 2024, where crypto really starts to see that final, blow off top and alt season. And then I think over the next few years is really going to be MJ's turn to shine, right? They're going to be in the spotlight. I think Kronos reported today, Rod. Yeah, they did. I did see that. I didn't look into the deep dive details. I did share it in the Power Group private community, but yeah, I think they were sitting on like 890 million in cash or something like that. So still close to $1 billion in cash, and yeah, we'll see what happens there. They haven't really been making any waves lately. Like, I haven't really heard from them. So if they add that, it's even harder to pass, though. I'm not sure what you're referring to at this point. Really Rills? Oh, I finally caught a lot of video. Hello from... I don't even know how to pronounce that. Where is that? Love your channel. Love you too. Thank you very much, Chris. Oahu? Oahu. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I haven't seen you on the stream before, so... Hello from Edmonton, Alberta. Yeah, it's an exciting time. Like I said, earnings season. We've got lots to be excited for in the MJ space, and one thing that people aren't really, understanding the full effect of, in my opinion, is this rescheduling business. If 280E gets removed, like, bear market over. Bear market over for sure. And I've seen people commenting on my video saying like, oh, like rescheduling isn't that big of a deal. It's like, what? Are you living under a rock? Do you even understand what that means? Do you know what 280E means? Cureleaf, Boris Jordan, executive chairman and co-founder, said that if it wasn't for 280E, they wouldn't have already paid over $350 million to the U.S. government, and they would already be probably paying a dividend to shareholders if it wasn't for 280E. So just imagine if all of that revenue, instead of going to 280E into the federal government, it can go to the bottom line and potentially back in forms of dividends to shareholders. And I'm definitely investor fatigued already. I need to stop looking at these charts. Yeah, so when I go through the charts, it's not like I look at them every single day, right? We can come on here and we can, learn. I mean, bear markets are a great time to learn. So you can come on here and practice, sharpen your skills and things like that for whenever we're in a bull market. And, right now, I would say a lot of our strategies are the same as just buy and hold at the moment. I mean, is there really any other strategy right now when most MJ stocks are down 80, 90+% from February 2021 and all-time highs, right? So this is a great time to learn technical analysis, to learn, different fundamental analysis, do some research on different companies. It's never a bad time to sharpen your skills. And, when it comes to charting, at the end of the day, when we're in a bear market, there's not really, that much benefit to charting. Like I said, if you're going to be holding for 5-10 years, but it definitely will come in handy when we're, approaching monthly oversold, and, you're looking at price targets and take profit, whatnot. So it's nice to, I just love charts, and I love looking into it, learning about it and looking into it every day. And it kind of gives you a way to be, to have an edge and to be prepared for a move. I was talking about that today in the Power Group private community, that looking at charts can help you prepare, emotionally, financially, right? And, you can be prepared for a big move, right? If a big move comes, we're up 100, 200%, and, we're down, we're not even close to daily overbought. We're down, still down over 90%, right? Whereas some people might feel enticed to sell, and it's just as important to know when to sell as it is to when to buy. And you got to have a game plan, right? And a lot of people in the last bull market probably wish that they took some profit, but that's a pretty ugly chart just looking at, for example, for CGC. But everything looks like that, right? Everything down mostly 80-90+%, and you definitely get investor fatigue. But this happens to the best of the best industries and the best of the best sectors, right? So it's happened to big tech, happened in the internet days, right? We went up hundreds and hundreds of percentage, and then we went down over 90% on some of the names, right? Even some of the biggest names like Amazon dropped 95%, but we all know what happened after that. Let's go, you bet. Thanks, Rod. I watch your videos multiple times. When I feel that way, it boosts my confidence. Well, it's great to hear. I definitely, I appreciate the kind words, and like I said, if I can help you and anybody else, kind of just keep an emotional log, or keep you focused, keep your what am I looking to say? Like level-headed, right? Just keeping things real and having realistic expectations, I think, is the most likely, is the best thing that we can do. And right now is when most people get shaken out of the market, because we're forming these monthly higher lows. We're looking to confirm monthly uptrends. We know that we're in a brutal multi-year bear market, and the bottom is close, but we know that it could be a couple of months away before we get confirmation. And confirmation would be monthly uptrends confirming. And on a name like Tilray, for example, if we break 340, well, we would have our higher low and our higher high. So I think there's a good chance of it happening into the end of the year. We also have MJ BizCon coming up in a few weeks. But keep in mind, there still is tax loss selling as well. I think the deadline is December 27th. Because there's 3 days, takes 3 days to settle. So yeah, December 27th, and it takes 3 days to settle. So that's November. December 27th, and then, so 29th is the last day. So it might impact prices, but I think we could start to rally into December, maybe even later this month, and then into December, and then I think the rally will really kick into to high gear into the beginning of the year of 2024. But I think 2024 is going to be a great year for MJ. The only question mark is what's going to happen to the broader market. So, but it's not impossible for MJ to outperform and kind of go against grain, because we haven't really participated in the everything bubble of 2022 and 2023. A lot of names have been dropping to monthly lower lows and monthly downtrends, while a lot of our tech names and cryptos are in monthly uptrends and setting new all-time highs. How come nobody looks at Tilray and it's the only one with options? I think everybody does look at Tilray. That's like when I do a Tilray video, it's by far my most popular video. You just go here and sort by popular. That one's a long time ago, but yeah, I just posted this a month ago and it's got 4.2k views. Catching the end of this one. Thanks, Rod. You bet, Landon. Thanks for joining. But yeah, Tilray, it's the only one with options. I mean, you got Canopy, you got MSOS as well, right? They're listed on anything that's really listed on U.S. major exchanges. But yeah, Tilray is usually, well, mostly always my top viewed video for MJ. So I think there's definitely a massive crowd that follows them. So a retail favorite for sure, but we know like Wall Street Bets, like Sundial, SNDL. We'll see now what comes if they make a return, but been pretty quiet on that front, not gonna lie. But I think it's just a matter of time before we start to see euphoria and mass excitement enter the space once again. And we have all the signs, like the writing's on the wall. It's just we're not seeing prices recover yet. And as we know, as soon as the price starts to recover, that's when everybody and their dog comes joining, and the herd kind of rushes in, right? But right now, like I said, there's never been better catalysts, more exciting catalysts right now on the horizon to be looking out for a massive reversal here soon. Thanks for the response. You bet. No problem. My pleasure. All right. Well, hopefully this video was helpful. And like I said, I think that the chances of Florida passing this and putting it on the ballot, I would say it's got to be 70-80%, and then actually passing and being enacted, I think we're looking at like 60-70%. I've been to Florida multiple times over the last few years, and my family goes every year, and I've been to Florida probably in my lifetime probably 10 times, and I've been there I think 3 or 4 times just in the last couple of years. And like I said, it's just ingrained in the community. It's such a vibrant MJ community, and more and more states are starting to legalize, and Ohio is just another testament. If it can happen in Ohio, which is a Republican state, it can happen anywhere. And there's more and more countries starting to game theory playing out. They're starting to capitulate. They're starting to embrace the industry and the medicine of the future. And like I said, it's just a matter of when, not if. And I think that the likelihood of Florida passing has never been higher. And as we see, tons of support for legalization, and it seems like it's always at the forefront now, right? Back in 2020 and 2021, it was kind of on the back burner, and now we're starting to see it come into the spotlight, which is a great sign. And it's more than likely going to just be tip of the iceberg, right? There's so much growth, there's so much potential here. It's not even funny, but I'm here for it. Like I said, I'm excited, and I can't wait to experience the next bull market with everybody, because we all know we can definitely use it after the brutal 3 years that we just experienced, unlike anything I've ever seen, really. Hope Canadian government is doing something to help Canadian MJ industry. Rod, yeah, you bet, Mikiko, because I did a video that Ogen is failing, and that was a great producer with great flower, great products, and super sad to see that happen. And Fire and Flower, and a huge retailer, and enough's enough. It's kind of sad, really. So MJ Act is up for review here, and it's been over 5 years now since we legalized it, so we're definitely due. I think that 2024 we could see massive changes coming from the Canadian government as well, which we know the federal government has already said it's time for them to step up and start to support the industry. It's like, okay, finally, after 5 years, you're finally starting to take the hint. Anyway, I digress. But going into there, it's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks everybody for joining us again on the Pursuit of Wealth and joining the live stream. I appreciate all of your contributions and your comments as always. Hope you have a fantastic evening. It was a busy day, busy week. Like I said, it was a big week ahead, and we're only halfway through. So happy hump day, and hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll more than likely catch you again tomorrow. All right, have a great night. Talk to you again soon.